Being able to save up can be seen impossible, especially when having so many obligations or expenses. Living from paycheck to paycheck feels almost unchangeable or can become a verdict of fate. And no matter how much you make, there always is something to pay for. No matter how much you make, it is just never enough. You think you'll be able to put aside an amount at the end of the month, and then something pops up like an arrest of police, and you feel handcuffed not to cooperate. Or you want to save, but something is expected of you, like a certain lifestyle, having a house, a car, dining in fancy restaurants, to maintain an image or reputation. You are conscious of what your relatives or neighbors' opinion of your capability. There feels 100 pairs of eyes checking how much you can afford or measuring your worth or abilities by the model of your car or wrinkles on your face. There's pressure to keep up appearances, so you continue to swipe your credit card even if bills and debts are looming like monsters in your sleep. Debt balloons while income falls or spurts in long intervals. You just want to save up for emergency, for a business, or fun for an investment, and yet every time it feels like you're always swimming against the tide. But being buried in debts makes you walk on thin ice, live in borrowed time, or wait for your sanity to self destruct. Not being able to save up is a sign of lack of financial compass. It is being pulled in different directions or loyalties and influenced by different noises, left and right expenses, people's expectations, or your own, your image, your reputation. It's serving so many masters and abandoning the master in you. It's being at the mercy of obligations and expectations of you while you deny mercy for yourself. Having a financial direction, however, keeps you focused. It helps you discern which burden to drop or which to bear. A financial compass may be a purpose or an idea of how that savings, whether for your emergency fund, credit card payment, capital for a business or investment, what this would do for you or your family. What would these do to you? It could be a release from helplessness or from fear. It could be a feeling of being able to buy plane ticket to go somewhere, or the feeling of being independent. It's having a north star, however that feels for you. And with that north star, this becomes your guide. It's a way of life, your hurried recipe, your night light, your everyday choice, and not necessarily an amount. You walk a path to this North Star because without it, you go around in circles, or you can easily be distracted or manipulated. Everything can feel like a priority or an emergency, right? But when you walk with a direction, your vision becomes the priority, and everything else would be negotiable. Having a financial direction, wanting to save, is a form of self care to look after yourself or your family financially. Looking after yourself financially is not about being materialistic. It is a response to the reality that to move forward in a terrain of uncertainty, that you should not put your life or your loved ones in the hands of someone else. It is a response to economic conditions that are not static. They rise, but they do correct or even fall. This response is not about being pessimistic, but it comes from the acceptance that times change. It is about dropping the illusion of in the infallibility of governments or institutions, the impossibility of catastrophe, natural, or job firing or theft. Doing so is not a reaction out of fear, but a response for readiness for the uncertainty of financial dips and bottoms after long peaks and highs. Just as a car tire needs replacement, or your pet gets sick, or your roof needs repair or repaint. Looking after yourself allows you to be steady in times of storms, allows you to adapt instead of subjecting yourself to the mercy of someone or an institution. Or instead of waiting and begging for help, you stay calm, you react less, you don't sell your property at a discounted, super discounted price because you are ready for the storm. And looking after yourself financially can be uncomfortable, even boring, and lonesome. It's like having to pull yourself out of bed in order to jog for 10 miles. It's hard, but it's good for you. But doing so makes you accountable for your financial condition or trajectory. It is not an easy task. It demands that you grow up, make hard decisions, because walking towards your vision or your direction, no one will and can do that for you. Not your parent, not your best friend, not your boss. Nor can you blame anyone if you end up broke or in debt again. To blame is futile. It does not save money for you. So, unless you make yourself accountable, you won't be able to put aside money for the rainy days and then some. And it does not matter so much or how little you make. The way to keep a million, that you win from the lottery, is exactly the way you keep 100. If you know how to keep 100, you'll know how to keep a million. A financial direction is not more about the amount, but the discipline to stay on the path. Because money does not stay by itself. It is a cheating lover, impatient to go around and chat with the next flower. So it is more likely that we lose our money than we keep it. Because we have needs, we have wants and desires. Plus, for some of us, we want to look decent or fancy or successful. For some of us, our image is important. We don't want anybody to treat us like trash by how we look. It is more likely that we lose our funds than we keep it. There are more headwinds to losing our money than tailwinds to keep our money, our income, or our capital. So, more energy is needed to put aside an amount every month. So, how do you not drain your money? Look at your situation and work from there. You cannot copy someone else's strategy and expect to see results. Here are some things you can do. You can unplug appliances you don't need or you're not using, or cancel subscriptions you don't use. Keep receipts so you can show proof of payment in case of messy accounting. Check your bills if everything is in place. Know your deadlines, the late fees. These are actions that don't have 5 seconds to do. Spend your loose change intentionally. Loose change is not a waste of space. You can even deposit the coins. Loose change are a fraction of a whole. In business, they matter a lot. In business, they accumulate for wages and supplies. Have that pipe that is in danger of explosion fixed, because leaving it alone might incur more damages. Ride a bike to work. Cook your own meals instead of ordering online. Blend margarita at home with friends instead of spending your month's paycheck for it at the bar. For some, you might want to start accounting your monthly expenses and keep to your budget. A monthly budget includes expenses that are fixed and the ones that are unexpected. These tweaks are not about the amount you are saving from these matters. Again, the amount is an illusion. It is about the consciousness of how money is being used, squandered, or spent. It is about sharpening your radar to red flags of unnecessary drain. These tweaks are ways of catching wind of financial omens, small or big amounts, before they even reach your door. It is repeating or habituating your consciousness about drain until it becomes automatic. It is about reinforcing your intentions to save up. When you become conscious of your expenditures, you honor your toil, your body, your mind. You are looking after yourself. You don't exploit your body and mind to work hard, because every penny is spent for things that you actually use, need, or like so much, even, or good for you. You become accountable too, because you are not excusing yourself anymore, not playing ignorant anymore about where your money has gone. You're not stuttering when you're asked, not hiding from the curtain of truth, hoping it wouldn't be so loud that you'll start to feel guilty. When you become accountable, it's a constant confrontation with yourself. You become aware of surveillance around you, that you cannot be a fugitive of your own financial selective cluelessness or lies. When you approve of expenses before money is spent, you are sure or you can defend them to yourself even if it is not in the books. But not spending consciously or thoughtfully is like saving water in a basin with a leak, or perhaps sporting a dress with a hole at the side you pray no one would see. So take care of the leak. You may have had windfalls in the past. Miracles have not even been denied of you, but your leaks may have drained them away. Remember, it is more likely that you lose your money than you keep it. But saving up can be more complicated. Relationships are put into focus. And this is the harder part, the overwhelming part. Sometimes you have to address concerns about seeing someone where transportation expenses are not something you can keep up with, or address the constant borrowing of money of a friend who might not even be paying, let alone apologize for late payments. You might have to turn down night outs, parties. You might want to avoid gatherings that do not support or align with your financial direction. Aside from the expenses from these, you might want instead to use your time and energy for studying how to trade, or taking advanced courses for your career, or exploring insurance options, or use your time for a side hustle. You might want to sleep more or exercise more so that you can show up ready for work, which in turn helps you with your promotion. Or you might want to use your time mastering your skills, reading about history or economics, or watching inspirational movies. You might even have to sever relationships, friendships that do not align with your path. These are tough decisions that you really cannot afford the lifestyle, or you cannot hold space for it, no matter how special they are to you. Or you can't force or wait for them to be enriching for you. Or should you shrink yourself in order to bring about what you think they can do for you? Unfortunately, because the time or money you provide for these dilute or dull or even steal from your vision. This decision is not out of arrogance, but out of the acknowledgement that you do not overflow of energy and time. In fact, you have to replenish them, and therefore you have to use them wisely. And if these people do not align with your path, they also do not align with you. So your loyalty to them can be in letting them go so you don't delay or hinder their journey. Your energy, time, money, therefore, become precious, more like life vest than it is the ocean. You protect your time and energy, and the more you walk your path, you realize that although times with some people are happy, romantic for some, comfortable, you are actually giving permission to be chained to just surviving financially, like being someone's entertainment or pastime that they would later forget about, or being someone's confidant when your urgent concerns or fears are left unheard. Or it's like dragging your children at every store to find the perfect clothes with a brand, while your roof remains vulnerable to storms. Your child's asthma may not get medical care, or while opportunities to triple your capital are getting wary of knocking on your door. Saving up may lead you to amuse yourself alone. You decorate your life without waiting for a thumbs up of your activities. By retreating from people who do not align, you use your time and your energies to make your days vibrant, brimming with discoveries, even when no one sees. Your wanting to save up may lead you to laugh at yourself about clothes that don't match, or cooking meals that you do not order that may not taste so good but can be repaired with salt and pepper, or dance with absolutely no rhythm in your kitchen and not at dark spaces with strobe lights and DJs. You may have to stop helping people because you do not have enough for yourself, and that your financial security is not someone's free ride, unfortunately. Remember, no one can save money for you, and neither can you do that for others. Because if you do, they will just lose it if they also do not know how to keep it. And so to improve your finances takes admitting you cannot help while your car may break down in the middle of the highway and you can't rescue yourself. You may have to drop your image, peel your masks, or socially retire, move out, declutter, sell your car. Financial humility can be difficult, but these efforts do not mean you have become poor. That is a perception only to the ones who don't understand. You don't have to sacrifice your financial health in order to belong, or prove your worthiness to belong through fancy cars or clothes. You do belong. You just have to find the right crowd where your financial peace of mind is not up for debate, where it does not feel wrong, unfashionable, shameful to look after yourself financially. In a way, your financial situation may be a mirror to how you have been neglecting yourself in order to belong, to look cool at the expense of your financial adaptability. Like putting so much energy into finding a dress for a party, shoes to match it, the bag, and what else, the lipstick. And of course, you have to tuck your belly so that you look at least acceptable when posted, while you leave yourself trying to be brave or praying that nothing happens to your car or pet or child because you do not have 100 to spare. A financial direction can guide you in discerning about your lifestyle, relationships, or comfort. It helps you sort these out. It cuts through the fanfare, differentiates the priority from distraction. If something does not align with your path, you drop it, not out of greed or arrogance, but out of financial authenticity. You just want to take care of yourself or your family. You just want to be a parent to yourself because no one can do that for you. You allow yourself to need security, to admit you are not perfect. You give yourself permission to have failed, and that is why you try to rise. Walking on a path may be boring, lonesome, uncomfortable, sometimes even painful. Saving up or keeping your path needs you to grow up, to be accountable, to make tough decisions. It is not for the faint hearted. It is about choosing to keep relationships that you don't have to sacrifice your path in order to keep them. You still yearn to be seen, to be appreciated, but not by everybody, but for those who you feel safe to reveal yourself to because they would be honored to hold your vulnerability. And so, not everybody or everything has to be in your life because that would drag you down. If you do, your energy becomes scattered. And unfortunately, where you put your energy is what you build or what takes root. Just as everyday practice of dancing builds mastery. If you want everybody to be in your life, it is like praying to be able to save up along with 100 other wishes. And so, with your limited time and energy, you are building 100 kingdom all at the same time. And so, your energy for distractions takes away from the energy you need for your priorities. Your progress for each would be very slow and, quite frankly, distorted. So, use your limited energy for those that help you look after yourself or your family. So remember, describe your financial vision, how it feels for you. Let it guide you so you don't scatter your energy. How does this vision feel for you? Having this vision to save up is an act of self care, a way of looking after yourself because you can only truly count on yourself. You might not want to put this responsibility on someone else's hands, for the result may not be how you want it to be. And so make yourself accountable. Walking your path is not so much about the amount you are saving as it is about your everyday decision to walk that path. It is about the discipline to stay faithful to your path, the path of self care. Because the reality is, it is more likely to lose your income than it is to put it aside. So look after yourself, but looking after yourself takes more effort. The amount that you are saving in this case may not reflect in your bank account, might not even feel luxurious or tangible, or not look like what you might expect. But wealth seldom is. This discipline you are developing is the beginning of long term funds that are caught by your hands and not slipping through. You see, in order to save up, you have to be a vessel money would want to land on too because it is not squandered or neglected. because money seeks the one who know how to keep it. Money slips through a porous vessel but lands on one with no crack. Money goes to the ones it can trust to hold it, no matter how small it is. Just like landlords giving favors to those with consistent rental payments, creditors giving loans with a good credit score. Remember, you are more likely to lose money than to keep it, so mind your expenses. In some days, it might not even look like you are saving or improving your finances. When this happens, either self doubts, patterns of complacency are still in the way as your credit card balance accumulates or your bills pile. The onset and then some are the hardest and the farthest from your vision. It is like waking up in the morning, your body is at rest for hours, the pull to comfort is huge. So frustration or doubts will sit beside you to eat your time and weaken your resolve. During this time, you are recalibrating. You are shedding what have become your automatic choices. It is just like moving into another apartment and you are getting used to where everything is and unlearning where everything used to be. You are rewiring not to mistake financial health for overconfidence or overtrust in institutions, in people, or employment. You are differentiating between putting aside some cash and seeing the exaggerated image you have drawn in your mind out of a bag or a timepiece. You are being grounded from the illusion of prosperity given by the freedom to use your credit card. You are decoupling from the influence of people of what they think you should have or do or be. And so saving takes time. Along the way, you will always be seduced by comfort, the lights, the beats of parties, mid-month sale at the mall. But every decision you make towards your vision, no matter how minute you think it is planting seeds and growing leaves or expanding roots of stability. But just as you cannot measure the expansion of leaves, you may not visibly see your progress, but trust that they are growing. Embrace the trade offs, the resistances to begin the day, the lonely nights, the relationships you have to leave behind because you want to walk your path, the shame of repeat clothes you have to show up in, the push of a pedal of a bike and not the turn of a steering wheel, or the gossip about your lifestyle downgrade. Lay them down with grace. Honor your tears or emptiness of space. See them as bricks of the financial mindset you are building. And let there not be one brick less of your kingdom of financial habits, for it shall break down. Let your future kingdom be something you have become a veteran to support because your decisions have been unwavering and your feet and hands have been toughened by the disapproval or the chagrin of people you have left behind or the simplicity of your lifestyle. You don't have to keep on checking where you are in your vision because it is a direction and not a destination. It is not a straight, rigid path. in a way that you cannot be present in fleeting moments. It is only a direction because it needs your attention, your consciousness. Therefore, stop for people or opportunities that have an epic to tell, or savor conversations that stir your soul while your everyday decisions are accumulating for you. It is only a direction because it gives you room to reflect on your past, to take your time to evaluate your choices or to filter your priorities as you aim to save up. Because along the way, you may reconsider what you want to keep in your life as you trim your expenses. That is why our consciousness is necessary, the state of awakeness. And what stays shall determine the kind of lifestyle you would want to have in relation to your domestic economy. Along the way, you may also want to increase your income or start investing with your savings if you haven't already, at least after you have paid high interest debts or after you have saved up for your emergency fund.